talked about the weather in Rwanda, how it can be really warm in the dry season and really rainy in that wet season. Well, imagine we're going to catch a plane to Rwanda tomorrow. What would we need to pack? Let's imagine that it's the dry season in Rwanda. What would you need? Well, you definitely need some t-shirts, maybe some shorts or a summer dress if you're a girl. Probably a sun hat might be a good idea, I'm thinking. You definitely need to put some suntan cream in because it's going to be quite warm. Let's think about if it was the wet season. Do you remember me saying that an umbrella would probably be a good idea? What clothes would you need? Don't forget, you definitely need some of these. Have a look at these. Strong hiking boots or trainers. Where in Rwanda would you need these? Remember, up in those mountains, it's slippy. Remember those roads we were talking about that wash away in the wet season? Well, you need, whether it's the dry season or the wet season, you need some good, strong hiking boots if you're going to go walking up in those mountains. These are the ones that I took with me to Rwanda when I went for a walk up in those cloud forests that we talked about. In the wet season, you definitely need good waterproof clothing. Remember, it can rain really hard. In Kigali city, many people that you would pass on the streets will be dressed just like we are here in the UK. The business people will be wearing their suits or their smart dresses and their high-heeled shoes. And it's really similar to any town or city that you may see over here. But the best clothes in Africa are the traditional African clothes. And they are made from the wonderful patterned material that you see being sold all over Africa, but particularly in the markets. Have a look at the shopping video again, if you haven't seen it, about how that material is sold, how it's all hanging for you to choose the design that you want your clothing made out of. Some of them I brought back with me. Have a look at these wonderful designs here. This deep red one and this one here. I wonder if you can recognise what's on this one. Have a look. What fruit do you might think that this might be on this pattern here? Design shows those bunches of bananas hanging from the trees and those banana plantations. And the last one here, have a look how wonderful this pattern is. And in art, you might choose to make an African pattern like this. You'll need your brightest colours. The clothes made out of this material are absolutely beautiful. Have a look at this mum and baby here in this picture. Look at that beautiful, bright outfit. It's fantastic, isn't it? And I'll show you some other pictures here of people that I passed in the street wearing clothes made out of this gorgeous material. Rwandan people will save their very best and brightest clothes for wearing to church on a Sunday. More than 90% of people in Rwanda are Christian, and most people will go to church on a Sunday. Sometimes there can be 300-400 people just in one little church, and people get dressed up in their brightest clothing. Look at the people here on their way to church. Look at this choir who came to sing in the church the day I visited. Those bright pink dresses. People in church like to wear these bright clothes, and they sing really loud and they dance with their best clothes on to celebrate God and everything that he brings. I wonder whether we save our best clothes for going to church. If you ever go to church, have a look at what people might be wearing when they visit on a Sunday. Children going to school in Rwanda will wear their school uniform. I nearly all of the uniforms that I saw out there were either blue or beige in colour. I didn't see any other colour uniforms. We have lots of different colours here, don't we? I wonder what colour your school uniform is. The uniforms in Rwanda are kept really, really carefully. In fact, the school uniform can be the best clothes for some of the poorer people, and they're always kept nicely. The government in Rwanda like all children who go to school to wear a uniform, and they say that it makes them look smart and makes all of the children look the same, so nobody becomes jealous of anybody else's clothes or talks about anybody else's clothes, and they can get on with their learning. Some of the children will walk a very long way to school. You'll learn more about that in the video that we've made about schools in Africa. Those uniforms must get really hot in that really hot, dry season. And I'm not sure, most of them have short sleeves, whether they would keep you particularly dry in the wet season. A lot of children then will wear rubber or plastic shoes. So they're okay for really wet weather, but they're also really good in dry weather. Have a look at some of these shoes that are very popular. There's a wonderful story about a boy in Rwanda. It's a true story. It's a boy who had a disease when he was very young and has no use of his legs, so his legs don't work. But his arms and his hands work really well. And he's really creative and really, really artistic. So he's really good at art. And what he started to do was, out of rubber, he started to make shoes. He would use old tyres to make beautiful, simple, but beautiful shoes for people in his local village. Over in the UK, there's a really expensive posh shoe shop. Got to hear about this little Rwandan child. Helped that boy set up a little mini business to help him make shoes. How brilliant is that? Now that boy makes shoes for his people in his village, and he's teaching other people how to make them too. Have a look what else is made out in Rwanda. Look at this. Beautiful necklace here, made out of seeds and wood. Lovely, isn't it? There's another one here, also made out of seeds and little beads. And sometimes people will roll up pieces of paper to make beads. I wonder if you could have a go at making something like that. Also, some jewellery is made from bone. This is a bone bracelet here. These are the bones of animals. Or sometimes made out of wood. Remember, they use the wood sometimes from some of the trees that we've had a look at. The baobab tree that we looked at. Make pretty beads that you can then put together to make these beautiful, beautiful pieces of jewellery. There's some very clever people in Rwanda.